The doors slammed open like a gunshot. Elizabeth's head snapped up from the register. She knew that sound. Heavy doors pushed with force, not courtesy. The kind of entrance that said we own this place. Her stomach dropped. 6 men flooded into Velvet and Silk Boutique. 4 bodyguards in black suits didn't browse. They scanned. Exits, windows, sightlines. Their hands hovered near jacket bulges that definitely weren't phones. The boutique's careful luxury shattered. The air went tight, dangerous. Mrs. Han froze mid-fold with a cashmere sweater. A customer backed toward the door, shopping bag clutched to her chest. Then he walked in. Tall, muscular. An eagle tattoo crawled up his neck from under his collar, wings spreading toward his jawline like it was choking him. His eyes were winter, cold, gray, merciless. This was Jason Park. Elizabeth's hands gripped the counter edge. She knew this type. Enforcer. The kind of man who didn't threaten. He finished. Behind Jason came the old man. Jade dragon cane. Traditional hanbok-style jacket over expensive slacks. Face like weathered stone, carved with scars and 70 years of violence. Mr. Kang. Elizabeth's breath stopped. That cane. She knew that cane. Fire. Screaming, a jade dragon catching red light. Her father's voice, desperate and breaking. Run, Jimin, run! The memory hit her like a fist. She ducked her head, heart hammering against her ribs. Don't look up. Don't make eye contact. Be invisible. Be nobody. But her body betrayed her. Her hand trembled. The pen she'd been holding slipped from her fingers, clattered on the marble counter. The sound echoed like a grenade in the silent boutique. Jason Park's eyes snapped to her. Predator hearing prey. Mrs. Han rushed forward, bowing so low her spine might snap. Mr. Kang, welcome, welcome. We have everything prepared for your... Quiet. Mr. Kang's voice cut like a blade. He didn't shout. He didn't need to. He stood in the center of the boutique, leaning on that jade dragon cane, and his eyes swept the room with open disgust. This place smells like desperation and cheap perfume. He picked up a silk tie from the nearest display, let it dangle from his fingers like something diseased. You sell garbage and call it luxury. Mrs. Han was sweating now, mascara threatening to run. Sir, all our products are authenticated, imported directly from where? Mr. Kang's voice rose just slightly, just enough to make everyone flinch. Italy? France? You think I want Western trash? He dropped the tie like it was contaminated. Elizabeth moved. She didn't think. Her body just moved. She stepped out from behind the counter, voice quiet but clear, words slipping out in a dialect she swore she'd never speak again. 에어레우신, 그건 가짜가 아닙니다. 전주 명주예요. 누에고치 천가닥으로 짠 거라 이탈리아산보다 3배는 더 강합니다. Elder, that's not fake. It's Jeonju silk, hand-woven from 300 silkworm threads, 3 times stronger than Italian. She hadn't spoken that dialect since the night her family burned. The room didn't just go quiet. It stopped. Every bodyguard's hand moved toward their jacket. Mrs. Han's face drained, white. The remaining customer dropped her shopping bag, the sound of expensive fabric hitting marble echoing in the frozen air. But Mr. Kang's jade cane slipped from his fingers and hit the floor with a crack that sounded like a bone breaking. He stared at Elizabeth like she'd risen from the grave. Jason Park crossed the distance between them in 3 strides. His voice was low, lethal. Where the hell did you learn to speak like that? Elizabeth's mind screamed at her. Run! Run now! Run before... But there was nowhere to run. Not anymore. Jason's eyes tracked every micro-expression on her face, reading her like a book written into blood. That dialect's been dead for 30 years. Only the old families, Spoke it. His hand shot out, grabbed her wrist in a grip like iron. So I'll ask you one more time. Where did you learn it? Elizabeth's throat was dry. Her pulse hammered where Jason's fingers pressed against her skin. She could feel her heartbeat against his palm. Mr. Kang bent slowly, retrieved his cane, but he never took his eyes off her. When he spoke, his voice was barely a whisper. Who are you? Every survival instinct Elizabeth had developed over 15 years of hiding screamed at her to lie, to make up a story about a grandmother, a language class, anything. But she was so tired of lying, so tired of running. She lifted her chin, met Mr. Kang's eyes, and spoke again in that ancient Busan dialect, the words feeling like broken glass in her throat. 저는 망자의 딸입니다. 그리고 당신이 누구인지 정확히 알고 있어요. I am the daughter of a dead man, and I know exactly who you are. The bodyguards drew their guns. The metallic sound of slides being pulled back filled the boutique. 4 weapons, all pointed at her. Jason's hand tightened on her wrist, his other hand moving to the gun holstered under his jacket. But Mr. Kang held up one weathered hand. Stop. Everyone froze. Mr. Kang touched his cheek, feeling the space where her words had landed harder than any slap. Then he smiled. Not a kind smile. A wolf's smile. A smile that said he'd just found something he'd been hunting for a very long time. Lock the doors, he said quietly, voice carrying absolute authority. No one leaves. His eyes never left Elizabeth's face, especially her. Before we continue, quick question. Where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments. And if you're already hooked by Elizabeth's story, go ahead and hit that like button. Trust me, what happens next is going to blow your mind. Now let's get into it. The bodyguard flipped the sign. Closed. Another positioned himself at the entrance, arms crossed, a human barricade. The last customers were ushered out quickly. Their confused protests died the moment they saw the guns. Mrs. Han tried to follow them. Sir, please, I don't know what's happening. I can explain. You're dismissed. Mr. Kang didn't even look at her. Go home. Forget you saw us today. Mrs. Han practically ran. Jason pulled Elizabeth toward the back. Not rough enough to hurt, but firm enough that she knew resistance was pointless. The VIP fitting room was all leather couches and floor-to-ceiling mirrors. Racks of the store's most expensive pieces lined the walls, a space designed for comfort. It felt like an execution chamber. Jason shoved her onto the couch. She caught herself, hands sinking into butter-soft leather. Mr. Kang followed slowly, each tap of his cane deliberate, measured. He settled into the chair across from her, placing the jade dragon across, his lap like a sword waiting to be drawn. Now. His voice was calm, too calm. Let's try this again. Who are you? And don't insult my intelligence with stories about grandmothers. Elizabeth's mind raced through options. Keep lying? They'd see through it. Tell the truth? They'd kill her. Find the middle ground. Give them enough to satisfy without revealing everything. My name is Elizabeth Mensa Lee. My mother is Ghanaian. My father was Korean. She kept her voice steady. I'm a university student. I work here part-time to pay tuition. Jason was already on his phone, fingers flying. Elizabeth Mensa Lee, 23, business major at Busan National University. He looked up. Clean record, no priors. But your father? His eyes narrowed. David Lee owns a consulting firm with no clients, no office, and no tax filings for 3 years. Elizabeth's jaw tightened. So either your father is terrible at business, Jason continued, or David Lee isn't his real name. Mr. Kang waved a dismissive hand. The name doesn't matter. I want to know about the dialect. That specific dialect hasn't been spoken in Busan since the family wars ended. He leaned forward. Elizabeth could see every scar on his weathered face. Only 3 families spoke it fluently. The Kangs, the Lees, the Mins. His voice dropped. The Mins are extinct. The Lees burned. Elizabeth felt the room tilt. So tell me, girl, how does a university student with a Ghanaian mother and a fake father speak a dead language? She had to give them something real enough to stop the questions. My father's real name was Ji-ho. The words tasted like ash. He never told me his family name, said it was safer that way. Mr. Kang's knuckles went white on the cane. He taught me the old dialect when I was little. Before, Elizabeth's voice cracked despite her best efforts. Before everything. Where is he now? Jason's voice cut through. Dead. 15 years ago. How? Elizabeth met Mr. Kang's eyes, and spoke the word that hung between them like smoke. Fire. The temperature dropped. Mr. Kang stood abruptly. His cane hit the floor with a sharp crack that made Elizabeth flinch. He walked to the window, staring out at the Busan streets below. There was a fire 15 years ago. His voice was distant now, remembering. A compound in the hills. Lee family estate. Beautiful place. Traditional architecture, gardens, koi ponds. He turned. Everyone inside died. Men, women, children. The fire burned so hot we couldn't identify all the bodies. Elizabeth dug her nails into her palms. Pain to keep from screaming. We assumed the entire bloodline was gone. Mr. Kang's eyes bore into her. But apparently someone survived. Jason pushed off the wall. You think she's a Lee? I think she speaks like a Lee. Moves like a Lee. Mr. Kang pointed the cane at her. I also think she came to this boutique knowing I'd be here. I didn't know. Lies. Jason's voice was sharp as broken glass. My father visits this boutique once a year. Same week, same day. You've been working here 6 months. You knew. He stepped closer. So what was the plan? Poison? Knife? Wait until he was alone and finish what your family started? I'm not here to kill anyone. Then why are you here? Elizabeth stood. She was shorter than both of them, curvier than the typical boutique employee. Her natural hair pulled back in a simple bun. But in this moment, she had the presence of someone raised in power. I'm here, she said in perfect Busan Satori, each word deliberate. Because I wanted to see the man who murdered my father. I wanted to look him in the eye and see if he felt any remorse at all. Mr. Kang tilted his head. And? Do I? No. Good. His smile was cold. Because your father was a traitor who deserved what he got. Elizabeth's hand moved before her brain caught up. She slapped him. The sound cracked through the room like thunder. Jason had, his gun out, barrel pressed against Elizabeth's temple in half a heartbeat. The bodyguards burst through the door, weapons drawn, shouting. But Mr. Kang held up one hand. Stop. Everyone froze. Mr. Kang touched his cheek where Elizabeth's handprint bloomed red against weathered skin. Then he did something no one expected. He laughed. A genuine, surprised laugh that echoed off the mirrors. You have your father's fire. He nodded to Jason. Lower your weapon. Jason hesitated, then slowly pulled the gun away from Elizabeth's head, but he didn't holster it. Mr. Kang gestured to the couch. Sit down, girl. I'm going to tell you a story about your father, and when I'm done, you're going to understand why that fire was necessary. Mr. Kang pulled out his phone, swiped, held it up. 2 young men in their 20s, arms slung around each other's shoulders, laughing at something beyond the camera's frame. One was clearly a young Mr. Kang. The other, Elizabeth's breath caught in her throat. Her father, younger, happier, alive. Lee Ji-ho and I were blood brothers. Mr. Kang's voice softened with memory. We built Busan's underworld together from nothing. Two young men with ambition and no fear. He swiped to another photo. A contract. Brown stains that looked like blood, Mr. Kang confirmed. We made a pact. Loyalty above all. Family above everything. For 15 years, Behets. We kept it. Another swipe. A woman. Beautiful. Strong jawline. Warm eyes. Elizabeth recognized her mother instantly. Then Jiho met Grace. She didn't want our world. Wanted him out. Clean. Mr. Kang's expression hardened. So he went to the Gwangju family. Offered them our entire operation for safe passage out of Korea. No. Elizabeth shook her head. My father wouldn't. Mr. Kang showed her bank records. Transfer receipts. 30 million won. Her father's signature at the bottom. The Gwangju family would have slaughtered every Kang family member, Jason added, voice flat. Men, women, children. Your father knew that. Elizabeth stared at the documents. The dates matched. The signatures looked real. So you killed him. Her voice was barely a whisper. I gave him a choice. Mr. Kang leaned back. Return the money. Hand over the Gwangju contacts. Accept exile. He refused. Said things were already in motion. The old man's voice dropped. The fire wasn't meant for you. It was meant for documents in his study. Proof of our entire operation. If those papers reached Gwangju, hundreds would have died. He looked at Elizabeth. I sent men to retrieve the documents. Your father fought back. The fire started in the struggle. Mr. Kang pulled something from his wallet. A photograph. Scorched edges. Water-stained. He handed it to Elizabeth. A little girl, maybe 7, laughing, held tight in her father's arms. Her. I found him in his study, Mr. Kang said quietly. Arms wrapped around a metal box. Inside weren't documents, just photos. Of you. Of your mother. Elizabeth's vision blurred. The Gwangju family played him, made him think he was buying safety. They were using him to get to me. Mr. Kang's voice cracked slightly. Your father died protecting you. Not money, not territory. You. Elizabeth couldn't breathe, couldn't think. I found tracks leading from the old well, child-sized. I knew someone survived. Mr. Kang met her eyes. I could have hunted you down, but your father died for you. I wasn't going to disrespect that sacrifice. Before Elizabeth could respond, a bodyguard burst through the door. Sir, problem. Jason was already moving, pulling up security feeds. The exterior cameras showed 3 black sedans, gray suits, at least 8 men watching the Sun. Boutique entrance. How did they find us? Jason's voice was deadly quiet. Mr. Kang's eyes snapped to Elizabeth. They followed her. You didn't have to. Mr. Kang stood. They've been watching you for months, waiting for you to lead them to me. Elizabeth's phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text message with a photo. Mrs. Han. Bound to a chair. Blood on her face. Terror in her eyes. Another text. Send Mr. Kang out or we start shooting customers. 5 minutes. Jason swore. They grabbed her on her way home. Elizabeth stared at the photo. This woman, annoying, demanding Mrs. Han, was going to die because of her. I'll go, Elizabeth said suddenly. Both men looked at her. I'll go outside. Tell them you already left. They'll kill you the second you step out, Jason said flatly. Maybe, but Mrs. Han lives. Mr. Kang studied her face. You're serious. My father died protecting me. Mrs. Han is in danger because of me. Elizabeth's voice steadied. I'm not letting another person die because I was too scared to act. Jason's eyes narrowed. Then something shifted. She's right. We can use this. He laid out the plan fast. Elizabeth goes outside, tells them Mr. Kang left. While they're focused on her, Jason and his men slip out the stockroom exit, circle behind the Gwangju cars. Risky, a bodyguard muttered. Everything's risky. Jason looked at Elizabeth. You understand what you're volunteering for. I understand. Mr. Kang pulled a small device from his pocket. Panic button. Press this when you're ready. It signals us to move. Elizabeth took it. The plastic was warm from his pocket. Jason stepped close. His hand brushed her shoulder. Brief. Don't die out there. I'll try. Elizabeth walked to the entrance. The bodyguard unlocked the door. Afternoon sunlight hit her like a spotlight. 8 men in gray suits crossed the street toward her. The leader had a scar running from eyebrow to chin. He smiled when he saw Elizabeth. Elizabeth Mensa Lee. Or should I say, Lee Jimin. He showed her a photo on his phone. A little girl between her parents, before the fire. Where's Mr. Kang? He left. Back exit. 10 minutes ago. Scarface didn't believe her. He grabbed her arm, started dragging her toward the cars. Then you won't mind if we search. Elizabeth pressed the panic button in her pocket. 5 seconds of nothing. Then Jason and his men appeared behind the Gwangju cars. Guns drawn. Scarface pulled his weapon, pressed it against Elizabeth's temple. Everyone stop, or the girl dies. Jason froze. Elizabeth met his eyes, saw him calculating odds. Then she went completely limp. Dead weight. Scarface's grip loosened. Elizabeth twisted, drove her elbow into his ribs. Dropped. Jason fired. Scarface went down. Gunfire erupted. Glass shattered. Car alarms screamed. Elizabeth crawled behind a parked car, heart trying to punch through her ribs. 20 seconds of chaos. 3 Gwangju men down, the others retreating into an alley. Another car screeched around the corner. Reinforcements. Jason grabbed Elizabeth's hand. Move! They ran. Jason pulled Elizabeth through back alleys, moving with tactical precision that came from years of practice. His hand stayed locked around hers. Behind them, shouting, car engines, footsteps echoing off brick walls. Where are we going? Elizabeth gasped. Somewhere safe, quiet. They cut through a fish market. Vendors shouted. Elizabeth nearly slipped on wet concrete. Jason's grip tightened, keeping her upright. His phone buzzed. He checked it without breaking stride. Text from Mr. Kang. Lost them. Heading to safe house. Get the girl secure. Jason pulled Elizabeth into a maintenance corridor between buildings. Cramped. Dark. Reeking of garbage and salt water. They pressed against the wall. Footsteps pounded past the alley entrance. Elizabeth was breathing hard, adrenaline crashing. Her whole body shook. Jason watched her carefully. That elbow strike. Where'd you learn that? My father. Before everything. He taught you well. They waited. The pursuit sounds faded into Busan's ambient noise. Jason checked his phone again, pulled up a map. Parking garage, 2 blocks. We hide there until my father sends a car. What about Mrs. Han? Jason's jaw tightened. One problem at a time. The parking garage was mostly empty. Concrete pillars, harsh fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. They climbed to the top level where security cameras had blind spots. They sat behind a concrete barrier. Hidden. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Elizabeth started laughing. Half hysteria, half disbelief. I got shot at. I actually got shot at. Jason didn't smile. First time? Yes, I study marketing. The most dangerous thing I do is jaywalk. Not anymore. The weight of those words settled over her like a shroud. Elizabeth looked at Jason. Really looked. The eagle tattoo, scars on his knuckles, the gun under his jacket. How old were you when you first got shot at? Jason leaned his head back. 14. That's a child. Yeah. Elizabeth drew, her knees to her chest. I'm not cut out for this. I should have stayed away. But you didn't. Jason turned to her. Why? You could have hired a private investigator, sent an anonymous message. Instead, you put yourself in the line of fire. Elizabeth was quiet. Then, softly, because I needed to know if I was like him. Like who? My father, Mr. Kang. Everyone who chooses this life. She met his eyes. I needed to know if violence was in my blood. And I'm terrified. I don't want to hurt people. I don't belong here. But you elbowed that guy without hesitating. Survival instinct, not bravery. There's no difference when bullets are flying. Jason's phone buzzed. He stood, offered his hand. Car's here. The safe house was a luxury apartment overlooking Busan harbor. Expensive furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows, enough security cameras to guard a prison. Mr. Kang sat on the leather couch, Jade Dragon cane beside him. He looked exhausted. Glad you're alive. Mrs. Han? Elizabeth asked immediately. Mr. Kang nodded to his man, who showed tablet footage. Mrs. Han being released outside a hospital. Shaken, but breathing. Elizabeth's knees nearly buckled with relief. Jason guided her to a chair. Sit before you fall. Mr. Kang poured whiskey into crystal glasses. You did well. You didn't panic. You survived. I got lucky. Luck is a skill. He studied her. The Gwangju family won't stop. They see you as leverage. So what do we do? Mr. Kang laid out 3 options. 1. Disappear. New identity. New country. Never contact her mother again. Never use her real name. 2. Stay in Busan under constant protection. Bodyguards. Safe houses. A gilded cage. 3. Join them. Learn the business. Learn to fight. Stop being a victim. Why would I choose 3? Elizabeth asked. Mr. Kang smiled. Because you're your father's daughter. Part of you wants power, wants revenge, wants to stop running. The Gwangju family has your mother's information, Jason interrupted. They know she's in Accra. They know where she works. Elizabeth's blood turned to ice. Stay with us, and I protect her, Mr. Kang said. I move her somewhere they can't find her. Give her a new life. And you get what? Someone with fresh eyes, helping us survive. Mr. Kang leaned forward. Your father's memory honored by keeping his daughter alive. Elizabeth walked to the window. Sunset painted the harbor gold and red. She was so tired of running. She turned back. If I stay, I want full transparency. No more secrets about my father. Agreed. Access to everything. Financial records, territory, all of it. Mr. Kang raised an eyebrow. You negotiate like him. Then you know I'm serious. Jason crossed his arms. And who trains you? You can't even throw a proper punch. Elizabeth met his eyes. Then teach me. Tension crackled between them. Jason nodded slowly. Fine, but I don't go easy. I don't want easy. I want to survive. Mr. Kang extended his hand. Partners, until you decide otherwise. Elizabeth stared at the hand that ordered her father's death, the hand offering safety and power. She shook it. Partners. 3 days later, Elizabeth stood in the Kang compound's private gym. Jason put her through combat drills. She tried blocking, failed, hit the mat hard. Again. She got up. He attacked. She blocked this time, but her counter was slow. He tapped her ribs. Dead. By the end, Elizabeth was drenched in sweat and covered in bruises. But she was learning. Better, Jason admitted. That evening, Mr. Kang called them to his office. Surveillance photos spread across his desk. The Gwangju family meeting with prosecutors. They're cooperating with the government, Jason said, reading documents, building a case against us. 3 weeks, Mr. Kang added. Then they move. Elizabeth studied the timeline. We need to poison the evidence, make it inadmissible. How? Hack their system, alter dates and transactions, create inconsistencies. She pulled out her phone. I know someone, Minjun, IT genius. Doesn't ask questions if you pay enough. Mr. Kang studied her. Set it up. But if he betrays us, it's on you. 2 days later, Minjun did the hack. Brilliant work. Within 48 hours, the government's evidence was corrupted. But Jason got a call at 2 a.m. Minjun made a copy. He's shopping it to the highest bidder. Jason was already dressing. Where is he? We don't know. Jason called Elizabeth. Your hacker betrayed us. Elizabeth was instantly awake. I'll find him. No, stay put. She hung up. Elizabeth knew Minjun, knew how he thought, where he'd hide. His apartment was empty. His favorite PC bang showed no sign of him. Then she remembered. Lee Soo-jin, his girlfriend, engineering major. Elizabeth pounded on Soo-jin's door at 3 a.m. Soo-jin answered, terrified. Lizzie? What? Where's Minjun? I don't know. He gave me money, told me to leave town. Elizabeth pushed past her. Did he leave anything? Soo-jin pointed to a backpack in the corner. He said not to touch it. Inside, a laptop, still warm. Elizabeth opened it. Unlocked. Stupid mistake. Encrypted messaging app. Last conversation visible. Unknown. Meet at the harbor. Pier 7. Bring the files. Minjun. Money first. Unknown. Half now, half when we verify. Timestamp. 15 minutes ago. Elizabeth grabbed the laptop and ran. She arrived at Pier 7 just as Minjun handed a flash drive to two men in gray suits. Gwangju family. Elizabeth stepped from the shadows. Minjun, stop. Everyone froze. Minjun's face went pale. Lizzie, what are you? One Gwangju man pulled a gun. Who is she? Nobody, Minjun stammered. Just a friend. She's Lee Ji-min, the second man said. Kang's new pet. He aimed at Elizabeth. Minjun stepped between them. Wait! She doesn't know anything. Elizabeth's mind raced. She needed to de-escalate. Fast. I'm here because Minjun promised me a cut. 30%. She kept her voice steady. You think I'm loyal to the Kangs? They killed my father. I'm using them. The men looked skeptical. Prove it. The files on that drive? There's encrypted data you can't access. Elizabeth held up her phone. I have the key. Transfer the money. Then I'll send it. Minjun stared at her, confused. Elizabeth gave him a look. Play along, or we both die. He caught on. Right. She has the encryption key. The Gwangju men exchanged glances. Give us the key. Transfer the money first. Headlights flooded the pier. 3 cars screeched to a stop. Jason and 6 men piled out, guns drawn. The Gwangju men grabbed Minjun and Elizabeth as shields. Back off or they die. Jason's voice cut through the night. Let them go. Elizabeth felt cold metal against her temple. Her heart hammered. Jason's eyes locked with hers. The same impossible calculation. Then Elizabeth shouted in Busan Satori, Jason, the flash drive is in his left pocket. She dropped. Chaos erupted. Gunfire, bodies moving. Elizabeth hit the ground, rolled like Jason taught her. Then silence. Both Gwangju men were down. Jason's men had Minjun pinned. Jason ran to Elizabeth, pulled her up. Are you hit? No, I'm okay. He grabbed her shoulders. For a moment, she thought he'd yell. Instead, that was either the bravest or stupidest thing I've ever seen. Can't it be both? Jason almost smiled. Minjun was crying, begging. Jason retrieved the flash drive. Is this the only copy? Yes, please don't kill me. Jason looked at Elizabeth. Your call. He's your responsibility. Elizabeth walked to Minjun. He was terrified, trembling. You betrayed me. I'm sorry. The money, you're lucky. She nodded to Jason's men. Let him go. Minjun looked shocked. What? You heard me. Jason stepped forward. Elizabeth, he made a mistake. A stupid one. But he doesn't deserve to die for it. She looked Minjun in the eye. Leave Korea. Tonight. Never come back. If I hear your name again, I'll finish this. Understand? Minjun nodded frantically. Then go. They released him. He ran into the night. Jason watched him disappear. You just showed mercy. That's dangerous. Maybe. But I'm not becoming a monster to survive your world. Jason studied her, then handed her the flash drive. Destroy it. Your mess. Elizabeth dropped it, crushed it under her heel. 2 weeks later, Elizabeth stood in the training room when Jason attacked. She was ready. She blocked, countered with an elbow, swept his legs. Jason went. Down. Elizabeth stood over him, breathing hard. Better? She asked. Better. He took her hand. She pulled him up. They stood close, hands still linked. Jason stepped back. You're ready. For what? Whatever comes next. Mr. Kang entered, leaning on his jade dragon cane. The prosecutors dropped the case. Gwangju family is scrambling. He looked at Elizabeth with pride. Your father would be impressed. He extended an envelope. Art auction next week. High end. I need someone who can blend in. Someone smart. Someone unexpected. Elizabeth took the envelope, felt its weight. She thought about her mother, safe now. About Minjun, probably in Thailand, learning his lesson. About her father, who chose this life and paid everything. About who she was 2 weeks ago, and who she was now. I'm interested. Mr. Kang nodded. Jason will brief you. He left. Elizabeth opened the envelope. Invitation, designer dress, false identity. Jason leaned against the wall. You sure? Once you start, there's no going back. I stopped being able to go back the moment I spoke in Busan Saturi. Fair point. So, are you coming to this auction? Someone has to keep you alive. Is that the only reason? Pause. The air shifted. Jason didn't answer directly. We should practice your cover story. High society requires different performance. Then teach me. I plan to. Elizabeth smiled. A real smile. For the first time in 15 years, she wasn't running. She was building a future. From a shy boutique assistant to a Mafia boss's partner, Elizabeth's transformation was just the beginning. If you enjoyed this story, go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe.